Hey everyone, this is Nitro. So, because there were actually a lot of questions in the comment section of the SSR Accessories guide I created yesterday, I thought I would create an addendum to that previous video to cover the most common questions and comments from people. So, the absolute first thing I was asked was, what do I do with, the SSR accessories that I got that I have not used, for example? Well, other than ones that I felt were totally useless and I got them really early on, like let's say the Holy Ark, or, let's say Elven Belt, all the other ones that I've gotten, I have actually kept. Because SSR accessories are so rare that I felt like I should keep at least one copy of every one and try to level them up. And of course, in the case of really, really good ones, like Holy Ring or Overlord's Badge, I've kept them so that eventually I can use Epic Martial Spirits to upgrade them. So, to demonstrate this, let me just quickly go into one of my characters and into one of their equip screens. Okay? So, let's bring it up. For example, right? Level 50 Winged Shin Guards, level 50 King's Amulet, level 50 Overlord's Badge. All three of these were leveled up using Epic Martial Spirits. Same thing for Veil of Light. I picked up a level 21, used 3 Epic Martial Spirits to level it up. And it is also the case for the Holy Ring, level 50. Used 3 Epic Martial Spirits on it. Other than that though, so these were all the top tier ones, right? And that's why I used Epic Martial Spirits on them. You can see, I also have a second copy of an Overlord's Badge. It's at level 20. And eventually I'll level it up. It's not really a priority right now, because I mainly use it on my tank when I need him to have immunity to mobility reduction. And I can't really Sage's Hat my tank, so that's really the only case I'm using it for right now. At level 50, it would be great for PvP purposes as well, but since PvP is not quite my priority right now, I haven't committed any Epic Martial Spirits into it just yet. But I will. And I also have a second Holy Ring. You can see here, level 20. I could have actually fed this into this Holy Ring, but I chose not to. And it's a terrible idea to do so. Because in the future, I may need a second character that needs immunity to silence, right? So having this second Holy Ring gives me the opportunity to have a second level 50 Holy Ring. If I had fed it into this thing, God knows when I'll get a second Holy Ring, right? Or a third Holy Ring to replace this one. So for top tier items that I've mentioned, like Slayer's Badge, Holy Ring and so on, definitely keep them. But for the ones that I said were not necessarily top tier, let's say True Cross is one, Judge's Talisman, and Lone Star Amulet, by all means feed them into each other. Because you'll eventually want to have a level 50 copy of these accessories, if possible. But you don't really want to waste Epic Martial Spirits into upgrading them. So yeah, so that's why you can see I can have level 40 True Cross, I have a level 30 Judge's Talisman, and I have a level 30 Lone Star Amulet. So yeah, slowly but steadily I'm building up my collection of SSR accessories, So eventually I can kind of mix and match and play around with them. But as I said, it's the top tier ones that you really want to keep as many copies of them as possible, especially Overlord's Badge. Ideally, you could equip like almost every character that you have with an Overlord's Badge. Then they can never get any attack or int reduction, or defense and magic defense reduction. So, alright, so that covers what I did with my SSR accessories in general. And the second question that came up a lot was about Judge's Talisman, right? Because the Judge Talisman increases attack by 8%, right, at level 50. And it also, when battling against holy units, attack is increased by an extra 12% at level 50. Okay? So there were a lot of comments about Judge's Talisman being really, really good. And my response to that is, Judge's Talisman is definitely a solid SSR accessory that gives a good amount of plus attack and defense, right? But it's not vital. Okay? Because the way it works is you're getting an extra 12% attack against holy units. Okay, so 8% plus another 12% here. So if you're fighting against holy units in PvE, you can generally one-shot them anyways. You don't need that extra 12% attack, right? And in PvP, the holy units you're going to face are really just two, right? It's either going to be characters with Shrine Maidens or Leaden, really. Those are just the two main groups, right? In the case of facing Shrine Maidens, the 12% holy damage will not allow you to one-shot the Shrine Maidens, right? Shrine Maidens reduce damage by 70%. 12% attack will not let you one-shot him if he's at full health, right? And if he's not at full health, characters like Liana have such low hit point values that characters like Zerida or any character that's attacking the healer will be able to one-shot it anyways. So Judge's Talisman is totally unnecessary, the effect, right? In the case of Zerida, as a side note, she has a perk called Backstab, where if she's attacking a target with full hit points, it deals fixed damage to the enemy before battle. So this ability, as long as you have Backstab on your Zerida, she will one-shot healers. You don't need a Judge's Talisman on her, long story short. Alright, so that's why I'm not a fan of the Judge's Talisman. The only scenario where Judge's Talisman is remotely worth considering is if you were attacking Leaden, because Leaden is holy class, right? The problem there, though, is Leaden's soldiers are not holy class. They're going to be Phalanx units. So your damage has to go through the Phalanx first before it can even hit the holy class Leaden. So in the end, I just feel that Judge's Talisman is not vital at all. You know? If you have one and you need a plus attack accessory that's SSR, then yeah, feel free to level it up. But remember that you do get a winged shin guards for free, right? And the winged shin guards gives the same amount of attack, gives the same amount of defense, and its effect is just plus 8 attack, but when attacked, your defense increases by 10%. So, winged shin guards, if you already have one leveled up, I don't really see you needing to level up Judge Talisman as well. So, that's why I was a bit down on the Judge Talisman, I suppose. Alright, so that was the most common second question that I encountered. And I'm going to raise up a third item, which is the gear upgrade priority. Okay? And the reason I'm raising this up is because I remember when I hit level 60, I was very, very short on Orichalcum ore. And so figuring out what items to level up was critically important. I see this a lot, and I saw a lot of discussion about which items to level up in the comments for the SSR Accessories guide that I had just created. So, first thing I should mention is, if you want to take a look at my equipment back when I was level 60, or when I just hit level 60, that was back in March, I'll give you the link in this video description to that video, okay? And if you look at my gear there, you'll want to jump to around 7 minutes and 30 seconds into the video. But if you take a look at my gear at that time, almost all my gear when I hit level 60 were SR items, with a few key items being SSRs. And those SSRs, of course, were level 50. So, and at that time, I had cleared all the content in the game, right? All the level 65 dragons had fallen. All of the Aniki's level 65 had fallen. I had finished the Bonding Realm. So the only thing that I had not done with SR gear was Eternal Temples. And the only reason I didn't do Eternal Temples then was because they weren't in the game yet. So it just goes to show, right? You don't actually truly need SSR gear to clear content in this game, except for the new Eternal Temples, because these Eternal Temples are just a nightmare. Okay, you may need some SSR gear for the Timeless Trials, especially at the S rank level, depending on the S and SS rank level, depending on the time law. But these are the only two exceptions. So with that said, like you should just be aware that you don't need that much SSR gear. For example, if you look at my Cherry right now, she is still using a level 50 Assault Ring, which is SR. And, I've been using her to clear things like the Time Rift, right? I just did Time Rift 10-3 yesterday with my Cherry. So, yeah, it just shows that SR gear is still quite good. So as for a direct stat comparison, you can see the Assault Ring gives plus 49 attack, plus 32 defense, and 5% attack value, right? If I bring up the Wing Shin Guards, it gives 75 attack, so that's 26 more, 43 defense, so that's 11 more, and then a 3% attack increase on top of the Assault Ring values. So it is definitely better, without doubt, but it's not exactly like the range is extreme. Okay? So, with that said, yeah, I guess I just really wanted to mention that because it seems like people have been thinking that you absolutely need to use SSR gear, and you really don't need to, right? For example, if you take a look at this Assault Ring with the 49 attack, it is comparable to a level 30 Lone Star Amulet, right? That gives 47 attack. In fact, they're pretty much identical. So unless you can get your SSRs to level 40, right? Using SR items is actually better. So, just some food for thought. Alright, so with all that said, I hope you found this information useful because, yeah, basically what I recommend is save up your ore for Epic Martial Spirits, right? And then when you need to upgrade items because you're lacking damage, you'll have the Epic Martial Spirits waiting and ready. As an example, right? Luna, right? I did not upgrade her equipment until I got the Veil of Light. Then I upgraded this to level 50, and then with this at level 50, I was able to clear Leviar level 65, right? The Twilight Armor was slowly gathered up. I picked up 3 of these pieces, and I picked up 4 Twilight Helmets. So I never had to use any Epic Martial Spirits to upgrade Luna's set of equipment. Yeah? And it's the same for most of my characters' equipment, in fact. For example, Bernhard has only a level 40 Inasis armor, but it's enough to keep him alive and to clear content. Same thing with Elwyn. Or, actually, Elwyn's equipment set is on Leticia right now. It's still a level 40 carbon fiber armor, right? Inasis helmet was level 50 because I just collected a lot of Inasis helmets. And the Overlord badge, this one I did commit resources into because I needed another attack accessory. So, my Epic Martial Spirits are only used when there's a critical item that needs to be upgraded. Otherwise, I just slowly and steadily collect items. As another example, for example, right now, if I bring up my helmet section, you can see I have a level 20 Gaius helmet just sitting around because I'm hoping to collect more of them. Same thing with a carbon fiber helmet. I just need one more to have a level 50. Then I may be able to finally replace one of these Inasis helmets with something else, right? So in terms of helmets, in all honesty, I don't think I used any Epic Martial Spirits except for the very first Inasis helmet. This one was fully built from collecting Inasis helmets through dragons. This one was fully built the same way. The Vampire Mask is the only one that I actually committed 3 Epic Martial Spirits into upgrading, and that was because Leon needed an upgrade from his previous Horror Helm. So, once again, I just sit on Epic Martial Spirits, and only when a critical piece of gear appears that it needs upgrading do I use them. And the only time I consider it critical is when I need to upgrade it to clear content, like Eternal Temple. If I don't need to upgrade my gear to clear content, I'm not going to. And I'm just going to be patient and wait for it. So, that's everything I wanted to say. Once again, I hope you found this information useful about how you progress. Because you can see, even now, a lot of my characters still have SR level 50 gear. Like, Lana with Warlock's Hood, right? Bozo with Speed Boots. Well, with that said, Speed Boots is considered his best in slot, so that's kind of that's not quite a valid example, but yeah, even Bernhard is still using Speed Boots, level 40. And in the case of Liana, she's using both a Crystal Ball and a Green Leaf Coat, because she does enough healing, and she's not supposed to ever get attacked. So that's why her gear set is like this, right? Theoretically, I could of course replace this Crystal Ball with a level 50 Holy Ring, right? Because that would also provide this immunity to silence effect, while also giving 75 intelligence as opposed to 49. But I really don't feel that 26 additional intelligence is worth the 3 epic martial spirits, at least not at this time. Liana has not shown any vulnerability in that sense. She's not lacking healing or anything, so there's no reason to upgrade. So yeah, so that's everything I wanted to say. Yeah, just summed up, just be patient, you know? Using SR items can clear basically all the content, so you don't really need to rush into using SSRs. And on that note, Nitro out. Oh, I should also mention, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comment section below, and I'll try to answer those questions to the best of my ability. Thanks for watching, everyone!